Right now, we're just gonna like chit chat a little bit just so we feel more natural in front of camera.
Okay.
And then yeah, we'll get into it. And then I'll like read off the prompts here and there, and then you can see it from here too, just in case you're like, what are we talking about? Hi, I'm Claudine, and this is my friend Jenny. We are talking about happiness and creating it within yourself and why it's important, especially in a career that you may hate. Or
in general.
Yeah, or in general. And why it's important to create that within yourself, because no one's gonna do it for you, right? But yeah, let's talk about who we are, what made us grow this week. Well, first off, I'm Claudine Castro. I'm currently a personal trainer, at least at this point in my life, because I don't know where it'll take me later on. And last night I took a hip hop beginner dance class, and it was kind of scary because
Good for you.
I know, but the worst thing happened because I was late to class because I was led to a different, like the old
What's
location.
hated when you started off with the now you're even more nervous.
I was like, this sucks. I was like, I'm stiff already. So I walk in, and then everyone was already dancing. I thought there was a waiting room. And then I walk in because my friend was waiting for me, and he was in the very front. I was like, why are you in the front? Why are you there? And then I had to awkwardly go past everyone, and I was like kind of bumping into them. I was like, sorry. And I put my stuff away, and then as I was walking towards the front, a piece of the floor got stuck to my foot. So I was like, this is the worst, but it made me grow.
Oh my gosh, well, yes! Oh my God. Okay, I can't even imagine, like, when you're already nervous as it is and all these, like,
I was so
weird things.
I was upset. Okay, but who are you, Jenny?
Yes, hello. I am Jenny Kurtpoka. I am in talent acquisition, which is pretty much recruitment. Been doing that for like 17 years. Yes, you know, I started when I was 10, so I'm like 27. But yes, I know it's been a long time, but yeah, I've been recruiting, interviewing people, like thousands of people. I love what I do. I get to meet so many different like personalities and like, you know, people from different walks of life. So I feel like, you know, I learned so much through other people's stories, which is why I love the work that I do, because I'm like learning through them too. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, what made you grow this week?
Okay, what made me grow? Honestly, I feel like every time that I meet with you.
Oh yeah,
because she pushes me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, she's actually also a personal training client of mine.
I was trying to say I was a personal trainer. I was like, I'm not a personal trainer.
Like, no, I'm not.
I am Claudine's client. And yeah, like even just like doing personal training is like stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
like
I can tell.
Yes.
I can tell. No, because I see like sometimes with your body language, you're nervous when you walk into the gym.
Yes.
But you've gotten so much more confident, but that's normal.
Exactly. If you saw me like in the beginning weeks, I was probably more like timid, like, oh, now I'm like, okay, I kind of know my way around the gym. I think I know what I'm doing. But yeah, no, I would say like every week when you like push me to like, you know, put more weight or like, do, you know, I feel like that's pushing my comfort zone because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. And you've gotten more confident, but we're also painting today because I think that brings people happiness, and we're painting a plant. So Jenny's just gonna follow along with me as we talk. But okay, so first off, we'll work on the background, and I'm thinking, what color background do you want?
Okay, let me think. Okay, so the plant is green. Like, what would be like a good
contrast?
Ooh, I actually like with the blue.
Okay, let's do the blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about let's mix a bit of the blue with the white. So grab half of this white paint, and then get some of the blue. Like I would get like a quarter of that blue and then just mix it in. And then as we're mixing that, what does happiness mean to you?
That is the $1 million question, right? Happiness to me, honestly, is like having inner peace.
Yeah.
Inner peace, definitely. That's kind of like my mantra for the past few years, inner peace. But also I would say like inner freedom, like just the freedom to like do what I want without worrying about what other people think or like what society thinks you're supposed to do or, you know, or whatever, like whatever images that like, you know, you see on TV that kind of dictate how you live your life. Like I think inner freedom is like being able to be in alignment with like who you are and your authentic self and like express that. So yeah.
Ooh, that
was a long definition.
That was good.
What does it mean to you?
I mean, I feel like it's along the same lines, and as I'm painting lines, so when you're done like mixing that, you just paint all over the canvas. Yeah, it's like along the same lines of, I think it's peace, knowing that everything will be provided for you, and you know, you just have that internal confidence, and you don't gather that from anyone else or an external situation.
Yes.
And the bottom line is, I think gratitude, like no matter what, you know that everything's gonna work out. I think that's what true happiness is. It's not like that fleeting type of happiness of, oh, I just got a new bag, or I just went on a new trip. It's like, I don't know, it's intrinsic. Like, I think it's different 100%. From, you know, that instant gratification. But was there a moment recently or a moment in your life that really stood out to you where it could be how about one example from your career and then also one example with just life where you're like, wow, I'm really happy?
You know what? That's a hard... I was like thinking about this. I was like reflecting on like, do I have examples of that? But I feel like for me, it's just like in the day-to-day interactions. Like it can happen at work where someone says something and it's like the old Jenny might have been more reactive, might have taken it more personally. And then now it's like, okay. Yeah. More of like, I'm almost like looking at it from like an objective, like outside. And I'm like looking at myself like, okay, like this person, you know, for whatever reason, if they want to say whatever they're saying, right? Like sometimes it's a projection of like their own insecurities, their own, you know, like you don't take it personally.
For sure.
Right. Versus before it'd be like, oh my God, like I'm so, exactly. So I'm able to like assess and be able to like discern different interactions better. And so for me, like that's, again, going back to like that inner peace and like inner freedom where like I'm not going to be reactive.
You're not going to be rocked.
Exactly.
Okay. It's almost like, in a way, you knowing yourself and your values, that's what gives you happiness. Okay.
I think that's the key. I really think that like you kind of have to really be aligned with what your core values are and be guided by that as a North Star. So I feel like if you stick or you stay in alignment with like what those core values are. And like when you find yourself in situations where something doesn't align to that, you're able to say, ooh, okay. Kind of like the Maria Kondo, you know Maria Kondo, right?
Yes.
How she's always like, brings up the shirt, like, does this bring me joy? Like I kind of like bring up, like when the situation, like, is this in alignment with my core values? Is this bringing me peace? Ooh, okay. It's not bringing me peace. So why am I going to engage in this situation? Why am I going to continue, you know, whatever friendship, relationship with this individual? But it does take a lot of, I mean, I've been doing this work since I was like, I've always been kind of a very introspective kid.
I could see that.
Yeah, very introspective.
I can imagine like 6-year-old Jenny just sitting by herself and everyone being like,
oh my gosh. You have the exact visual. Like my mom found me one time just like by myself in a corner, like, pondering life. Exactly. Why am I here? What's the purpose of this?
And you were young?
I was very young. Like I've always been like that. I've always questioned.
I do relate. I'm like, have you always thought, okay, I feel like this is you too, but you know, we come from immigrant backgrounds as well. You know, like me immigrating with my family from the Philippines. It's like, I always knew there'd be something better. Like it was never gonna be that way forever. And that's one of my core values. What brings me happiness is my faith in things always work out.
Yes.
Like no matter what. But yeah, I relate too with it's the day-to-day interactions. It's like being in the gym. And I thought about it the other day after, you know, I think it was with a session with you and then other clients right after. And we all just had a really good time. It felt like a party. Like everyone just was vibing off each other, and there was a lot of camaraderie. And
I love that.
You really felt the community in the gym, and you know, all the trainers, like, you know, all the trainers, they're so fun to be around.
That's honestly why I love going to our gym. I mean, I don't know what other gyms are.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, it's crazy how rare it is to find that type of community within a gym setting.
Yes.
So we're very lucky. And I think that's what brings me a lot of happiness and joy is it's the community that I choose to be in.
Correct. And you know what? It's so funny you say that because my mom used to tell me this all the time because like whenever I'm with like a company and I'm like, you know, I love the people.
Right.
Like, and then when I leave, I'm always like, oh no, like, you know, I'm going to miss everyone. Like, what if it's not the same? And literally every company I go to, it's great. And she's like, because it's not about the company, Jenny. It's about like you.
Ooh, oh, I got goosebumps.
Yes. She's like, because where you go, you're going to bring joy. You're going to like
yourself.
Build relationships and you're going to make the effort. So it's not about like, oh. So I feel like even for us, right? Like the gym is because like we
make it that way.
We make it that way. We create that environment and that space for people to like feel open and
I love that. That's such a good point because, I mean, the whole topic of this episode is you're creating happiness within yourself so that you could bring it wherever.
Exactly.
And I think that's why, you know, like I've heard of so many stories where people had a horrible time with their lives and then they're like, I'm just going to move to a different country. Well, you did that, but different country thinking that it'll solve everything. I've heard that with addicts too.
Yes.
You know, recovering addicts are like, let me just try to move. But guess who moves with you?
Exactly.
Yourself.
There's a quote that I always go back to, which is wherever you go, there you are. So like you can go to Paris, you can go to wherever, but like if you don't heal, do the inner work, like it's going to manifest externally whatever environment you're in, right? So exactly that. Like you can't fix an internal problem with an external solution.
Was there a moment in your career where you're like, because I know you traveled for your career. What was that like? And how did you know that you're like, okay, I'll be okay. I'll be able to create my own happiness in that way.
Yeah, I would say definitely when I was in my 20s, I was very much of the being open to all the opportunities or anything that came my way, like saying yes to things and not being operated by fear. Because I knew, and again, this goes back to like me just being that person of like, why am I here in life? Like I knew that like, even if I had a horrible time, even if like things went bad, like I would learn from it. So that's kind of like my guiding post. Like I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna say yes to this, like maybe I'll be miserable, but I will learn from that experience. It'll make me stronger. I also had such a great like support system. Like my mom would always tell me, Jenny, if you go and you're not happy, like you can always come home. And it's so simple. Like when you like think about it like that, like so simple, like like when you say like, okay, I'm gonna like take this job like abroad, you think like you're giving your like life like it's like, it's forever. And it's like, no, like, okay, let's say you go and it's like 6 weeks and you're like, this isn't for me. Like just book a flight and come back home. And it's like,
it's as simple as that,
it's
right?
It's simple as that.
Oh, that's so
But we don't take those chances, just, you know, whether it's self-doubt, whether it's fear. But I think if you can like reframe it as like a learning experience, I think it takes that fear, like it diminishes the fear a little bit.
So I think, you're onto something there because I realize that's what I do too with my own, you know, with my own path. I'm like, okay, I could try something, but I'm definitely way more fear-based.
We're human.
Yeah.
We're human.
But like you said, you just reframe it as it's a learning experience. And I realize I've done that with other things in the past. I mean, even this whole training thing just fell into my lap. I was never like, oh no, what if I have to do this for the rest of my life? And I think that's where people do get trapped into a life of unhappiness because they're like, they think they're bound to it. You think you're chained to it, but it's all an illusion. You're not chained to anything.
Exactly.
You can choose.
No, exactly that. And like, you said something that I was like, ooh, I had a point to add to that, which was like, yes. But I think we're all human. Obviously, we're always going to have those doubts and fears from past experiences that may trigger us. But I think it's like, you know, reframing it as like, okay, oh, I remember what I was gonna say. So when you are afraid to like do something, right? Like usually I will revert back to like an old experience where I was also like afraid to do.
Ooh, okay.
And I said to myself, and then I look around, I'm like, wait, I survived that. So like
a reference point.
It's a reference point, right? Of like, hey, like, remember that time, like when I was like, whatever, 18, when it sucked and I thought it was the end of the world, and like, wait, I survived that, so I'll survive this. So like that gives you kind of like that, what's it called? Like peace of mind, or like, it's just knowing that everything will be okay. Exactly, perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, and I think that's what, like, I think about college.
This is beautiful already, by the way.
I love this blue. This is
the sky.
We're done. And I think we could paint next just like the floor, just like the separation right here. Maybe just a block of a darker blue. So
a darker blue, okay.
Yeah, so we'll put in darker blue. Just maybe in like the lower thirds.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. It's like you look back on those times when, I just think about when I was in college and money was a struggle. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this gonna work out? And I gave myself health issues because of all the anxiety. Like my stomach was always acidic. And then there was one point where I was like, what is all this worrying doing for me? It's not even solving a thing. Like, is this even worth it? And then at that moment I was like, I just gotta do the next best thing for me, and that's it. And if it doesn't work out in the way that I want it to work out, it's gonna work out in a different way. But was there a moment in your, in your 20s where you had that experience, a similar experience?
Definitely.
Something that stood out to you?
I feel like the 20s is like the most like inner turmoil decade, right?
It's so difficult.
Yes, because it's like, you are an adult, but yet you're like still in this transition phase from like, our whole, 17, 18 years of like being in school. We had structure, like we had to get great. Like everything was planned out for us, knowing like, I need to graduate. I need to get a degree. I need to get a job. And you kind of like had clear paths. And then you become an adult and you're like 23 and you're like, oh, I have to manage my life now? Like the school is not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like gaining independence separate from a system.
Yes.
Early on in life. And yeah, I have a lot to say about schools. Like, there definitely could be improvements, but I understand with budgets and everything, it really depends on where you live, economics, whatever. But besides that, it's like the school structure just really doesn't
set us up for life.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. It makes us feel like a failure when we don't ace something. But it's like, what are we trying to ace here?
Right. Exactly.
I know. I'm like,
what am I trying to get high honors in right now? Like, I'm not sure.
Right. And then you realize, I listen to so many podcasts about this, but I've heard of people who struggled in school because they had ADHD and like they just couldn't stick to a structure. They were killing it later in life because, life gave them more flexibility. But on the opposite end, some people who were killing it in school because there was no more of that telling them what to do, none of that structure. It's almost like they were lost and they were unhappy.
Yes.
But I don't know, like, did you ever experience that?
I would definitely say, I wouldn't say like lost, but just like confused. Like, what do I want to do? Like, is this the right career path? Like, you start questioning everything.
Right.
And then I think that's what causes that stress. Like, and similar to you, I had like all that stomach issues, like peptic acid. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. In my 20s, it was so bad. Yeah. Gosh. I remember like in Thailand, my friend had to like go to a pharmacy at like 4 a.m. Love him to death. This is like my really good friend and like he's my brother and like, but I had so many issues and it wasn't like, I can't pinpoint exactly what I'm stressing about, but it's just like a state of being. It was like a state of
anxiety.
All that, yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, for what? To your point, like what am I?
Yeah, my stomach hurts now.
Exactly. My health like, is now deteriorating. Nothing's getting done. I'm not really like, what was the point of all this? But
that's so true. It's like we worry until we get sick and then all you can think about is your health. And I think that's when you realize when you don't have your health, that's all you can think about. I saw that quote. It said, whenever you wow, I'm gonna butcher it. Like, all you can think about is getting more money and getting more, you know, accolades and all that stuff. But then once your health is gone, that's all you could think about.
Yes.
Which honestly, like, ties into your happiness a lot, is your health. Because I see so many bitter people, and I realize the common denominator is they're, one, physically unwell, and two, they're mentally not doing very well as well.
That's kind of why I wanted to do personal training, because I felt like I told you, like, since I was little, I've always been like into personal, very into personal development, growth. But so, like, I was very focused on, when you talk about like mind, body, soul, I was always so focused on mind and soul. And it's always because I'm like petite, right? So I'm like I'm like petite. So I'm like, I don't need to work on my physical. Like, right? And then as I got older, I was like, ooh, like my energy, like I'm losing like focus. I'm not like, my energy's drained. And so I was like, wow, like I really need to, like, that trifecta, like the physical needs some love. And
because it affects your mental.
It affects your mental. They're all interconnected.
Which affects the way you work and your happiness in your career, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
100%. I can tell, even with myself, since I started training with you, like I have more energy, even though I'm like doing more. I would say, like, in my 20s, going back to my 20s, I was so exhausted all the time. Exhausted all the time, but it was because it was mental drainage.
Yep.
And then I was like, and it was wild. And then I would be like, I don't want to go anywhere. I have to like rest for the weekend because like work. So I got to like rest all weekend. I wasn't like, you know, living life. And then then you get into your 30s and then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Like, and especially now that I do personal training, I can tell like, I have more energy to want to like engage with life. Like on the weekend, I'm like, let's go do this. Like you'll see on my stories, I'm like, let's go do this.
Everywhere.
And then on Monday, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for work. I'm still energized. And it's like, wow, like,
isn't it funny?
It's crazy. It's so subtle. And people don't realize how much it really does affect like your mental state, your energy levels, like.
So yeah, it's like tying in back to happiness. It's taking care of yourself and seeing workout as, it's not a punishment. It's you giving yourself more love and energy so that you can do more things that bring you more happiness.
It's such a loving, kind thing to do to yourself. Like I tell my mom all the time, like every time, and she feels the same way when she goes for a walk. Like we'll come back and we're like proud of ourselves. Like it's like so cute. I know. It's like, I'm just proud of myself that like I did something for did something good for my body and my mind. And like,
your mom's so cute.
My mom's the best. She's awesome. Yeah. She always teaches me like to live my life, not my age. Like she's very much of like, no, you can do whatever.
That's so cool that you have that example. Would you say like that contributes a lot to the way that you look at life in, I don't know, like a brighter lens?
I would say yes. Especially more now. Like it's weird because me and my mom are more closer. I mean, we've always been close, but like now it's like in the dynamic of like adult to adult.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost like I'm teaching her too. And so we're both teaching each other.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're a kid, the dynamic is more like, it's like different. Yeah.
It's like you get told what to do all the time.
Right? Exactly.
But that's cool. I mean, it's cool that you've always been into personal development.
I know.
As a child, it's like, you're like a little monk.
I like my yearbook quote. It's so funny because everyone's yearbook quote is always like something funny or something, right? And mine was like, get to know yourself. Like, get to know yourself, for only you can make your life happy. I can't remember, something along those lines.
Oh, wow.
But see, I was very much knowing that like, if I want to live a happy life, it starts with like me figuring out like who I am.
It does.
And it really does.
That's deep.
It does. I know. As like a 17-year-old, I'm like, that's how I think it.
Okay, Jenny. Wise old man, Jenny.
I am very, what's it called? An old soul. Sometimes I'm just like, was I born in the wrong era?
I mean, would you say you're happy in your career?
I would definitely say I am at the happiest in my career at this stage, for sure.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's the actual career or is it yourself?
I think it's both. I definitely think it's both.
Okay.
I think early in my career, you know, you're so focused on like climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.
And then like all these arbitrary
Accolades.
expectations that like, I don't even know who made them up, but I'm thinking, well, I got to get to this level or I got to do this. And like, it's
exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like putting so much pressure on yourself. And then it's not even in your hands sometimes because
It's not.
When you work in corporate America, it's not in your hands, okay?
It's not.
So I would definitely say early in my career, I wasn't like the happiest. I loved what I did. I've always loved the work that I do.
Okay.
But yeah, there would always be things that like would frustrate me. And like, you know, when you work in like a corporation, it's like, you obviously have to like, there's like bureaucracy and like red tape. So like those things kind of like drain my energy.
I have never worked corporate. It's so foreign to me.
Right.
I think because I was so scared of it.
I mean,
I felt like I couldn't.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt too when I first stepped in, which is why I was like, oh my God, I had to like prove myself almost that I belonged there because I was so intimidated by like corporate America.
Yep.
Because that was not my path. Like I wanted to work in like nonprofit. Like my dream was to like work for the UN. I wanted to help people. Never did I imagine being in corporate.
Wait, let's go back to that. Like, because I know you traveled for work. Like you've lived abroad.
Yeah.
What was that like? And let me know when you're almost done with your floor.
I know, and I just realized I should have kept it. Like, why did I make? What is this little?
I like this.
Yeah.
It'll give it a little shadow.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now it's time to just wash out your brush.
Okay.
And then you're gonna mix. I'll get more blue, but we'll mix more blue and red, and we'll make the pot color.
Ooh.
The pot's color.
Yes. So So when I graduated college, I was very much of the mindset of like, I want to go experience the world. Like, there's got to be more than this to America and like Los Angeles and my own little world. Like, I was very much like, let's step out of our comfort zone.
Wow.
So I did my master's in the UK. I had done a summer abroad when I was in college, and I just fell in love with the country. And I was like, I want to go back to the UK.
Right.
So it was spent a year in the UK, and then I was still in that phase. Like, I don't want to go back. Like, I don't want to go back to like home. Not like home. Like, I love my family, but like,
yeah. But it's like you knew there was more that you needed to do out there.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to like go to Thailand. That's where my family's from. You know, we used to go back like every other year. And so like I loved Thailand, obviously felt a connection, and it would be so cool to like get in touch with like the motherland, you know?
Okay, mix some of your blue with the red.
Blue and the red.
Yeah,
okay.
like part of that blue, yes.
Okay.
That's good. That's perfect. Okay, not all of the blue.
Oh, sorry.
I'll give you more blue later. No, that's good.
So, and then like I said, like I was really... Oh, what is this? Is this not the right color?
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
We're making the pots.
Like I said, my dream job was like, I wanted to work for the UN, and I knew like Bangkok had this like UN Southeast Asia like regional office. So I was like, you know what? Let's wing it. Let's just go there and like figure out how I can get my foot in the door. So flew to Thailand. I literally took a taxi, went to the UN.
Damn.
And I was like, damn, this is like a process. Like back then I think it was Yahoo. I don't know what was back then. Like search engines were like just starting.
Yahoo. Jeeves. Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Oh my God, yeah. We are aging ourselves here.
No.
But
She's
yes.
still in her 20s.
I'm still in my 20s. And then I was like, damn, like this is kind of a process. Like, okay, well, you know what? I kind of want to like travel in Thailand. So let me just like find a job. Opened up like the Bangkok Post, which is like a newspaper in English. And I'm like, okay, let me just look for a job where like you can communicate, like it requires someone who could like speak English, communicate in English.
I see.
Yes. And that's where I found this job with an executive headhunter. Okay. And I'm like, what the heck is headhunting? Like I chop heads? What the?
That's like, scary.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is this? But like, oh, we need someone with strong English communication. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Okay, we're chopping heads.
Exactly.
Okay, hold that thought. Now we're gonna paint the pot.
Ooh, okay.
So
I'm looking at
just an inch right above that line, that horizon. We're gonna draw just like right in the middle. We're gonna draw a straight line.
Straight line. Okay.
And then you're gonna make a letter U on the way down. And then we just color in the pot.
Damn, you did a good job. That looks so symmetrical. Oh,
it's practice. Okay, so
I went in for this interview, got the job, and that is literally how my career in recruiting started. So like headhunting is like, you pretty much hunt for like talent. Yeah, exactly. Head equals people. Talent for people. Yeah. So, you know, the plan was not to like be in Thailand, honestly, like that long. I was like, okay, maybe a year. Yeah. And I ended up living there for 6 years.
So funny. I feel like that's how it is. Like, as life goes on, you're like, you don't expect to end up where you are.
Exactly. And that's like what is such, like, that is the beauty of life. And I think sometimes we try to control so many things. Like, things have to be on this path. And like, but like the universe is giving you all these experiences, like, you know, and it's like we say no to them again, like going back to like the fear or whatever reasons. But if we just like embrace it, take them as learning experiences, it's wild. Like I think back of like if I never went to Thailand, like who would I be right now? I don't know. I know. So I learned so much about myself in that experience.
That's so true. Because I mean, I like that point that you made is trying not to control everything, and that ties in a lot with happiness. Yes. Because when you try to control everything, like when I try to control everything, I get really unhappy and more anxious, and my stomach hurts more.
Exactly. Because there's so many things beyond our control too. I mean, of course, like we have to have like goals, and like there's things that we can only like focus on what we can control. Right. And then the rest we kind of have to like surrender. And I think when we live in that resistance, to your point, like that's what causes the anxiety, because you think things should be this way. Or like
it's all up to your plan.
Exactly. Or like this is a failure. And it's like, I don't see anything as a failure. Again, it goes back to this was a learning experience. If I learn something and I tell myself that I learned something, then like nothing's...
That's all it is.
That's all it is. And you know what? It always comes back full circle. Like, like years from then, you'll be like, oh my God, now I know why I had to go through that. I had to go through that because it totally prepared me for this moment, and I got you. Like, I got this.
I got all the chills. Yeah, and it prepares you if you are open for it. Right? And open to knowing that it was a growing experience. Because I've had, you know, I think I've told you a little bit about, you know, running into pretty horrible people earlier in life, and people who said that they'd help me out, like with my personal training career. There was one person in particular, and like I tried to help them out too, and it turned out to be really nasty. And people were like, oh, after I had cut ties with this person, people were like, oh no, you wasted so much time. Like, I didn't waste time. Like, I learned a lot, and it helped me deal with really difficult people, and it helped me recognize who to not surround myself with and what life I don't want. So that to me is not a waste of time.
Oh my gosh, exactly. I really believe that people come into our lives to show us something like within ourselves that we need to work on.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's not to like shame yourself to be like, I can't believe I attracted this toxic person. No, it's more of like, oh, there's obviously something within me that was allowing this behavior.
Yes, that's what it is.
Right? Yep. And so it's not to say that now you're not gonna like, you know, attract toxic people, but you'll pick up on it faster.
Yeah,
exactly.
You will.
You'll pick up on it faster, and then you'll like recover from it faster versus like,
that's true.
I'm gonna like hold on to this anger and resentment and like, you know, victim mindset and like all of that.
Yep. I mean, it's like working out. I could relate all this back to working out. You know, when your body first starts working out, you get really, really sore in the beginning because your body's not used to it. And then over time, it gets used to that sort of stress and that sort of effort that it knows how to recover quickly. So our body is smart if we listen to it. And it's the same thing with our resilience. I think people are way more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. We think that we won't survive something, but it really just starts with your mind. Like if you tell yourself that you can survive it, you will.
Exactly. And your mind, it's like, it's also a muscle, right? It's like, if you, like the thoughts, the beliefs that you have in your mind are going to manifest into like behaviors, right?
It will.
if you find your life is in like chaos, if you find like, why am I always in the drama? It's like,
check yourself.
Check yourself. And again, I'm not here to, it's not about like shaming, but it is an awareness. It's about like having awareness, because I'm sure you don't want to live in this chaos. Who wants to live in chaos and drama?
I think some people do.
Yeah, we're not talking about those people.
No, we're not.
But
not today. Okay, when you're done with that pot, you're gonna you're gonna take a little bit of blue like this.
Okay.
And then we're gonna make our shadow. So we're just gonna put it right under the pot, and then we're just gonna blend. So it's kind of mixed in with the pot's color.
Okay.
Because the pot is gonna reflect a little bit of its color on the shadow.
Ooh,
you're just gonna
beautiful.
Gently.
Oh, gently.
Yes,
damn, I was going hard.
No. I mean, it doesn't have, you could do whatever you want. You're just gonna trace out the bottom of that U right there. And then, just like around a half an inch or so from the bottom.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a painting teacher.
I know. It's
kind of fun, huh? And then you just like
so therapeutic. I'm just like, that's why every time I see your videos painting, I'm like, God, like kind of like what I was saying to Graham earlier with the surfing. Like, I feel like you guys must be at such peace when like doing these. Like,
yeah, that's true. Actually,
like you're right because like you're
all
present.
You can think about. Like that,
yeah.
Again, we're talking about happiness.
Happiness.
Like things. I think that's what happiness is. It's like being so present. Present.
Exactly.
It's present because you're not worried about anything else. All you could think about is, oh, is this stroke going in the right place? Okay, it looks good.
Right. Perfect. I think as humans, we are so conditioned to like stress about the past, like dwell about the past, and then stress about the future. Yeah. And then we miss everything that's happening in front of us. Like the beauty that is painting right now with Claudine.
Okay, when you're done with that, you're just gonna wash out your brush.
Ooh, yours is so bright.
And then you're gonna take a little bit of that blue again, and we're just gonna blend a little bit more, like on the edges of basically like the original background color.
Oh, okay.
Mine, I'm not trying to be so strict about it either. I'm just trying to make it all almost like impressionistic.
That's my favorite painting here, like Monet.
Me too. I love
Cézanne. Oh yes, girl.
Yes, we love
it. Now you can paint it. I just admire it as an observer.
No, but this is really fun. This is also me coming out of my comfort zone, like painting live in front of someone, because I'm like, don't look at it.
No. That's another thing, right? With happiness, trying to be perfect.
Oh.
We're trying to be perfect. We're trying to fit the mold, check all the boxes of what people think we're supposed to be doing.
I kind of like this. Look.
Let me see.
So I think, maybe just like light strokes around you could do whatever you want, but if we want that impressionistic look. But anyways, staying present. And would you meditate every day? I do
meditate every morning.
Wow. Would you say that contributes a lot to your happiness?
Yes.
Same.
I would definitely say, going back to like working out too, like both of them, it's so, like again, that mind, body, soul connection.
Right.
Like, you don't realize like just how much it keeps you like grounded and again like less reactive. Yeah, I think the meditation just definitely helps me go inward and like feel through emotions. Because I think, and that's the thing, I think most people are so afraid of their emotions.
Yeah.
And I get it. Some people got trauma.
I know.
It's really painful.
But you gotta address
You gotta
it.
go, exactly.
It's like there's this technique. Have you heard of tapping?
I have heard of tapping.
Okay. So you know how it's not like positivity where you're like, I believe in myself, like affirmations. It's you addressing what you're afraid of. And someone compared it to, it's like you're cleaning a house. You're seeing the dirt in your house and you're cleaning it up. And for people who have a hard time staying positive, like I don't expect someone to go from very negative to positive right away. Right. It's just going neutral. Like just go to the next step and say, okay, instead of being like, oh my gosh, this day sucks. Instead of saying that, just say, okay, what just happened? Literally, objectively. I just stepped into my car. That's it.
No, exactly.
But also I don't want to be so, nihilistic about it and be like, there's no meaning. to this because I think when we do bring meaning into our lives, it does bring more happiness.
No, 100%. Exactly. There has to be a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? And like, I get like, it's like, everyone's like, I don't know what my purpose is. And it doesn't have to be like a grand.
No.
Literally, my purpose is like bringing joy to every interaction. Like, you know what I mean? Like bringing joy wherever in the room, in the space I'm in. Period. That's it.
Period.
That's it.
Period.
Like,
that's it.
Exactly.
No question. Let me know when you're done with your shadow.
I definitely have heard of tapping, and like it goes back to the body, where like our body, like going back to like having stomach issues in our 20s.
Yes.
Because like our body is reacting. So like whenever there's a situation and my body is reacting, I already know, like, pay attention. The body.
What's going on?
The body's reacting. And it could be like a subconscious, you know, they always say, right? Because like when we were little, like our body remembers, the body keeps score.
It does.
I forgot who wrote that book. I know,
I've heard of it.
Yes, I've heard of it. But I understand kind of like the premise of it, of just like our body remembers stored trauma. And so it like, as adults, when we get triggered, right, like the body will react. And it's like, ooh, maybe I need to pay attention instead of like using
Burying
distraction.
You don't want to bury it.
Exactly.
You don't want to. Nice.
Yay!
Okay, so now wash out your brush. We're going to
Okay.
start drawing the back leaves.
This is so pretty.
It's so fun, right?
This is fun.
Okay, so now once it's wiped, you're going to take some of your blue. So I would take like this much blue.
Okay.
And then you're going to mix it with your mustard.
My mustard.
Mix it with your mustard. This is like mustard, huh?
It totally looks like honey mustard.
Yes. Oh, it does remind me of honey mustard.
And I don't like
I know,
mustard.
speaking of joy, food.
Food. What brings us joy? Food.
Yeah, food and like, I mean, okay, so going back to your values, because I think that does bring, it's like your compass for your happiness.
Yes.
Do you have your values in the top of your head?
Yeah, like I would say.
Perfect. Okay.
Is this pretty?
Yeah,
okay.
it's pretty. So we're just gonna draw like a straight line, and then it's just gonna slightly taper off into a point, almost like you're drawing like a slight arrow, like this. Does that make sense? What would you describe this as? And then you're just gonna paint a line.
It's like a machete.
A machete, yes,
a
sword.
machete.
Paint swords.
Okay.
So we're gonna paint a few swords. Okay, so values.
Values. My values, obviously like family is important to me. I think again, like a growth mindset, empathy. Oh my gosh, like there's so many. Like when I think about like someone's character, right? Like I like to surround myself with people who have a growth mindset, who have empathy, who, you know, seek to understand versus reacting, open-mindedness,
right?
Kindness. I know it sounds like woo, but like, dude, kindness.
It's important. It goes a long way.
Yes, that is one of my pet peeves. If someone is like not kind, like it really.
When we're at a restaurant, when someone treats the server poorly, I'm just like, all right,
exactly.
What's going on here?
Yes, I cannot stand entitlement. I cannot stand it. That will. It makes my blood boil. It does make my blood boil.
Because you're just like, who do you think you are thinking that you could treat people this way? And again, it's part of happiness is surrounding yourself with people who aren't like that.
Exactly.
And the ability to recognize it. And sometimes recognizing when you have your own, you know, moments like that too.
Exactly.
Because I be getting like that sometimes. And I'm like,
exactly.
Well, okay.
And again, it's
check it.
And then like, we're human. And it's like, we're not here to like shame. Like we have moments where it's like, ooh, but like to your point, like, okay, I caught it. And now I'm going to like correct it or like do the work to figure out like why I reacted in that way. Versus just like, well, this is who I am. So accept me.
Oh my gosh. Some people are like that.
Exactly.
It drives me nuts. Because it's like, so you're complacent in feeling this way. So you like feeling this way.
Exactly.
How are your leaves? Nice.
I
I like the idea of bringing that top leaf or the middle leaf like past the top. I think it's nice.
But going back to like friendships, right? Like to your point, like happiness, like if you're like wanting to be more happier or more fulfilled in life, like then you got to surround yourself with the right people.
Right. And contribute to those people too, not always draining people with your problems.
Right. Like emotionally dumping.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's exhausting to be like, I feel bad because I do have some people like that in my life. Like I know they have good hearts, but I just can't hang out with them all the time because it's like you always have something bad to say about yourself or someone else.
Exactly.
And it's like, all right.
I would say I struggle with that too, like with my friendships sometimes because
it's because we're too nice.
And we have empathy and we have like can hold that space.
Yeah.
But once it's like been like consistent, it's been like that for years now, or like
you're like, all right, I'm tired.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, I gotta save myself.
I'm tired. I know. It's like I need to go home.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely check. Like if you are not as happy as you are in your life, look at like who you surround yourself with. Are you around people who are just constantly bringing negative energy, bringing drama? And so I think when you hang out with people who, look at the world a certain way, like you start to like think like them. Like I've seen it.
Oh my gosh.
With people where it's like, dude, you're starting to talk like that person.
No,
like,
wait a minute.
You're like, what?
Hold on. Yeah. And it's, going back to the very beginning, wherever you go, there you are. Like, who are you becoming? Are you doing and thinking the things that a person that you would like, are you doing the things that they would do?
Right.
Or are you just operating from a place of victimhood?
Right. Like, does this person actually align with my core values? Because when I talk about I want kindness, I want empathy, dude, this person just constantly is getting in a fight with someone when I go,
oh my gosh,
like,
I know. Those what I mean? Like, dude, what is going on?
What is going on?
You are the common denominator here.
Exactly. So it's like, well, why are you still friends with this? And is it because you're afraid you won't have friends? Like have those like tough, you gotta like ask tough questions.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Which is why the meditation helps.
Yeah, meditation. It's that self-awareness.
Ooh, that looks great.
So
like
when you're, I know, it is a snake.
What is that? It's a snake.
Did you know that they're also called mother-in-law's tongues?
No. Damn,
that's kind
of a slap in the
It is a slap. Okay. Well, when you have get a little bit of mustard and then you're just gonna boop, boop, boop.
Just the mustard. Ooh, on the edge.
Yeah, on the edges.
I feel like mine is Ooh, yours is more green.
Yeah, all snake plants are different.
Yeah.
Some snake plants are greener, some are more blue, some are more yellow. I feel like Bob Ross. Yeah, and you could be like messy with it too.
Ooh,
right?
How did you get that to blend so nice? Mine's like
yeah,
there we go.
Remember what you said about surrendering? Like just take this.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna go whoop.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just whoop.
See?
Okay. I need to be more like yes, there we go.
There you go. That's good. And then you could do it on both sides of the plant, right? So you do Okay. I know there's so many people that I know of, like, they're always getting into a fight. I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, start asking yourself, who is the common denominator here? Right. Like, why am I always getting in fights?
Exactly.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me. I'm the problem.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are the problem.
But people, like, that's like the worst, like going back, like, people are so afraid to like face themselves. Like it's easier to blame other people and other things for your unhappiness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you brought a good point too. It's like asking yourself, why are you afraid to not be friends with this person anymore? And I think a lot of women are conditioned to be nice and like hold space for others and at the cost of us.
Yes.
But that's not helpful. It's not useful for anyone because one, now you're enabling someone else. And two, you're doing a disservice for yourself. You're tired, you're exhausted, you feel resentful.
That
looks good.
I know. Damn, great. Okay. I'm a painter.
Okay, Monet. Okay, so now that we have the back leaves, are you satisfied with the back leaves or do you want to add in more leaves? Because we're gonna add in front leaves.
Oh, okay, the back leaves are good. The back leaves are good. Ooh.
Okay, so do you remember this different type of yellow?
Yep.
We're gonna put in a little bit of blue in it.
Okay.
Okay, so half of that yellow, I would put in the blue.
Half of the yellow.
Look at that.
Dude, I feel like where did all my blue go?
Stinky. I can give you more blue. Do you need more blue?
I think I need more
Here,
blue.
let's give you more blue. Here.
Okay.
Here. You got it? Mm-hmm. Isn't this fun?
This is super
I hope this is therapeutic for you guys.
Gosh. They should do, like, you know how they have, like I told you, I've done, like, paint and wine? We should do, like, paint and therapy. Like, paint and
Yes.
life sharing? I don't know.
It feels like life coaching, right?
Yes. That's
good.
literally when I signed up for OC Life Fitness. I told Danny, I'm like, I would like a personal trainer who's also my life coach.
He's like, I got you.
Right
away, he was like, so he's a very stoic guy, but he was like, you need to be paired up with Claudine. And I was like, okay.
I know. And then you literally text me. Like, I went to his office. I came back and you texted me. I'm like, damn, that was fast. Remember?
Hey, it's me.
I heard you needed like
I'm here. Okay, so if you notice, this is a different type of green.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so it's a different type of green. So we use the more dulled green in the background. So now the more vibrant green is in the foreground. So it looks like there's dimension.
Dimension.
We like dimension. This is dimension.
Love it.
Nice. And I like how you're leaving a bit of yellow. So leave that bit of yellow because we're going to do the same exact thing, how we did it in the back.
Okay.
Right?
There we go.
Okay. All right. You ready? You can overlap. So I'm going to start like right here. Ooh. Start right there.
Okay.
And then I'll just paint. And then you can just paint where the leaves go, wherever you want them. You have a choice.
We have a choice.
Yes, you have a choice.
We are in control.
Okay if we are in control. And it's okay if things are overlapping, if things look like one blob, because they're plants. They do what they want.
Speaking of choice, you brought up a good point.
Oh,
back to happiness.
It is a choice.
I think we are living in a time where there's so many choices. That's also leading to unhappiness.
I saw
paradox of choice.
I saw a post about that.
Right?
Exactly. It is a paradox of choice because now you have way too many choices.
Way too many choices.
It's going back to the school thing. It's going back to the school thing where you get told what to do your whole life.
Exactly.
Right. Independence. I think that's why it's so important to mentor children more than just speak at them and you're trying to like tell them like what to do all the time. Instead, like teach them how to critically think for themselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And make decisions. Like, do you want to buy this toy or this toy? Like kind of let them go through the process of like.
Right. What it's like in the future, like right after. What's going to happen? Right? How you doing?
Good. I was just looking like, how many front leaves are you doing over there?
I'm doing whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, let me copy you. No, you know what? I am going to do what I want.
Exactly. You're your own person.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and these leaves can just like go in like wonky angles too. Who knows?
Here we go. Da-da-da. But yeah, no, I think that like when we have so many options, it's like we get stuck in like, well, it's like that whole like, oh, did I make the right decision? I probably should have done the other thing. Like we can't like line up to like, okay, this is the decision and I'm gonna like own it and like make it what it is versus like, oh, I made the wrong decision and I'm gonna like whine because I should have done the other decision. And now you're just like all over the place.
Right. I think people have this illusion of you can't take back decisions or like you can't choose a different path after because you can choose a different path. And I think that's why people frame failure in such a twisted way because they're like, well, it's over.
Exactly.
It's like, no, it's not. There's so many more opportunities out there. Like I've heard of so many people, I mean, speaking of careers and happiness, like so my client, I don't know if you've met her, you would love her. Her name is Marina. She's a therapist. I feel like you've met her. She would come in the afternoon. No, she was pregnant.
Oh, I do know her with her husband.
Yes. Yeah, so it's so cute. Her dad, Steve, he mentors me pro bono.
Aww.
And he's this retired multimillionaire. He's very generous. And I think that's why he seems like such a happy guy.
Yes.
He has so much wisdom around that because his value is service.
I was about to say service.
Yeah, service.
Yes.
And he said, look, I've been through many careers. I was a yoga instructor. I was also an investment banker. And it made me realize, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are we so stuck in our careers and defining us and what makes us happy? And you have this guy who has all this wisdom saying, you can literally pick whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
And you'll be happy.
Like our lives are like chapters, right? It's like chapters.
Yes.
This is this chapter. This is that chapter. You can let go of people in certain chapters. You can let go of careers in certain chapters. Start a new chapter. And I'm so grateful for all my chapters. The bad ones, the good ones.
Ooh. What's a chapter that you learned a lot from where you can see how much it's really serving you?
That's a great question. I would probably say like my time in Thailand.
Ooh, yeah.
That chapter.
I mean, you spent a good amount of your 20s there, huh?
Pretty much half of my 20s was there. Yeah. And I was living alone, obviously. Even though I'm Thai, I could speak Thai, but
it's different.
It's different. Like, when you go to the Philippines, it's like different mindsets. So I had to like navigate through so much, like in your 20s when you're trying to figure out who you are. And it's like, wait, I don't agree to this. Do I speak up? Do I not? And then when I do speak up, I come across you're kind of like going through so many like identity crisis almost. I'm like, who am I? Like, am I Thai? Am I more Asian? Or like, ooh, I'm very American in this moment. Or like, I don't agree. Like, so, and you can be both. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to fit myself.
In a box.
Exactly. And that was like the biggest learning lesson. Like, I don't need to fit a box. Like, I can be all the things.
I love that.
Woo, yes. Look at our plant.
Oh, and you can use the yellow to just like trace it out so you really draw it out from the background. So
what do you mean trace it out?
Look, I'm kind of tracing the leaf and look how much it pops from the background.
Oh, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Look at that. There you go.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that you say it's like with happiness, it's not putting yourself in a box. And I realize that with, this is very meta right now, making content. It is.
Yep.
Because I'm like, when I was making content in the beginning, I'm like, I have to put myself in a niche.
Yes.
And I have to do this type of content so it could get views and engagement. And it's like, it didn't really feel right. Because it's not like, where am I operating from? Self-service.
Right.
But if I do something like this where it genuinely brings me joy, and I know people love seeing art and they love talking, there's been a boom in personal development. I just hope that it at least leaves one person happy. Like, that'd be cool.
Exactly. That goes back to like your purpose too, right? Like if you feel like you are like pushing out content that's aligned to like, that's authentic to who you are.
Yeah.
Like, even if it doesn't get the reception it needs or the likes, like you could still at least have that peace at night to be like, you know what? I'm proud of that work versus like you followed whatever you think you're supposed to do. And then now you're just mad because like I should, like, you know what I mean?
You weren't true to yourself.
You weren't true to yourself.
It's like self-expression, like it's almost like when you leave an argument, or it's not necessarily an argument. Someone said something snarky towards you, and then you realize later on, like, oh, I could have said this because you were afraid to self-express.
Yes.
So it's like that. At the end of the day, it's self-expression at
oh my gosh,
its highest potential.
Exactly. That's another thing I learned in my 20s. I was so afraid to express my needs. And
why are we like that?
I don't know. Yeah, it could be growing up Asian too. Like we're very just like put your head down, do the work,
girl.
Go to school, like don't need to get into trouble. And so, yeah, I was always like intimidated by like the loud voices, right? In the classroom, the loud voices in the boardroom.
They're always like raising their hands.
They're always raising their hands.
Stop it. I'm going to look bad.
Yes. And I equated that as someone who's confident, but honestly, like it's not the loudest voice that is confident.
Ooh, put that in a quote.
Put that on a mug.
It is though. It's like I forget this quote. It's like whoever has the strongest roots, it's like your values can't be shaken. I said period.
It's like we're a tree and our roots We are planted into the ground. That wind, no hurricane gonna sway that plant. If your values are grounded into,
my neighbors are probably like, are they on crack?
We're gonna get a knock on the door.
Are they on drugs?
Actually, I'm notorious for like when we're in hotel rooms that people like complain. I get like a noise complaint because I'm very loud. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm just happy.
I'm freaking dead because when we were in the Philippines, that was what happened in our hotel room in Manila. That was the next door people that were super loud.
Oh, and then you complained about them? I know, I'm sorry, I was there. What date were you there?
January. Wait a minute.
Ooh, look at that.
You know, the color scheme kind of reminds me of Van Gogh and Monet and all that. Right?
Look at that.
You're like, stop.
So pretty.
How do you feel about your painting?
I love it.
I know, and now you have a painting to bring home.
I know. Oh my gosh, yours is so pretty too. No,
I love
Wait till you see hers and compare it to mine.
Stop.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Are you ready for the reveal?
I know. Shall we do a reveal?
Let's do a reveal. Okay, ready.
Wait, is it dry? Or like what?
Yeah, it's dry on the sides.
Oh, okay, okay. All right,
so
hold on.
Just rotate.
Da da da! Look at how beautiful hers is.
Yay!
I
love our color scheme.
I know.
That was a good choice for the background to be blue.
I love it. It pops. It pops.
Oh, it does.
And it's so calming. Like the blue is calming. I'm like, this is like going back to happiness.
And it has good energy because we painted as we were talking about happiness, right?
It does. Like now when I look at this painting in my room, I'll like think of our time because it's got good energy, good juju.
I know. This is such a good conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I mean, just like a quick recap, it's, you know, we create happiness within ourselves, and that comes from self-awareness and acting on it. What makes you happy, surrounding yourself with good people, and also just knowing your values and full self-expression. And it's a practice.
It's a practice. It is a journey. Healing is a journey. People think that like it's a destination. Every day we're going to be triggered. Things happen, life happens. But like, I think again, if you go back to like your values, like you'll be able to navigate through those storms a little bit better, be resilient.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. I would say, you should, focusing or investing in yourself is never, it like is invaluable. Like, I feel like ever since I went to like personal training and like even some of the, like the personal growth development workshops that I invest in, like this is all helping like me live a more full quality life. Right. So like definitely invest the time in that. I know like we're all busy, we some are parents, I get it, life is busy, but like I think if we can pour into our own cup, like we will be able to show up better in our relationships, to our family. So yeah, definitely, invest in that time.
I love that. Again, this is my friend Jenny. I'm Claudine, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye.